this time is different for the Bitcoin price. We need to be covering what this chart means. We need to be looking at the relevant scenarios since we have a scenario playing out right now that is different from previous years. So I need to be covering this with data backed charts over here. So make sure to be watching till the end. And we need to be looking at that recent Bitcoin price action after we had some news come out. So I'm going to be covering all of that and what's going to be happening next. And I'm also going to be covering this chart for Ethereum. We need to be looking at what's going to be happening since the volatility is quite low. We're going to have a massive move towards a particular direction. So I'm going to be covering what that direction is for Ethereum and what's going to be happening next. So make sure to be staying tuned till the end. And yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So looking at this short-term Bitcoin price action right now, we can see that we had a massive move towards the upside off of some bullish news that we got on Friday, which is yesterday. And we can see that the unemployment came in as expected. However, the non-farm payrolls came in a lot lower than expected. Essentially, the non-farm payroll is a labor market indicator that shows the amount of jobs that are available in the economy at the minute. And we can see that the job numbers actually came in 50k short, indicating that the economy and the labor market is potentially not doing so well and we need an interest rate cut. So you can see that I put there that we're going to be getting an interest rate cut and that's going to be coming, and that was actually bullish for the Bitcoin price and we moved towards the upside. But we were shortly met with a massive correction towards the downside, which was essentially a leverage flush in my opinion. And you can see that we've actually come towards the downside now. And of course, we did have the S&P coming down as well, which may have contributed to this move towards the downside too. So we need to be covering what's going to be happening next. But if we zoom out quickly in the short term, we can see on the 6-hour time frame that we're actually creating this inverse head and shoulders. So this is actually looking quite good. It's a typical reversal pattern and we need to be breaking above this neckline, which is around the $113,000 mark. So once we break above 113k, that's going to be acting as major support and we have room to move towards the upside. So that's a major level to be breaking, and if we can't actually confirm this, then it's likely we're going to move a lot lower, and I'm going to be covering that scenario in a second. But the main thing is to be watching for a higher low to form now after we made this major low at 107k. And if we can actually move up to 113, then we definitely have a license to move towards the upside. But do remember that we are trading within a weekend and we have our CME gap located around 110,700 for the Bitcoin price. So it's likely we're going to see some consolidation in and around this level, given we don't have a big correction towards the downside and deviate away from the CME gap. But again, if that is to happen, it's likely we're going to revert back to the CME gap, since 95% of these CME gaps tend to fill quite quickly. So that's definitely going to be the case if we are going to deviate away from the CME gap. I will expect it to come and fill the gap at a certain point. Now, in the event that we don't create that higher low like I was talking about, it is likely we come in towards this 100k region where we had some previous support, as you can see over here. And this is going to be a key region for me because it's an actual target from this double top pattern that we created, since we actually rejected from the neckline. So we take it from the top of the pattern to the neckline and we take it to the point where we actually came and retested this pattern, and it takes us to the 100k mark as well. So this is going to be a key region for me. So the boxes from 102 to 100k, this is the pocket for me that I'm going to be looking for Bitcoin to respond, given we have a big correction towards the downside in towards next week. But this is the most bearish scenario I am seeing. But if we can actually reclaim this level at 112,500, then we do have license to move towards the upside. And it is likely that we're going to actually play out this power of three, where we have the accumulation, then we have a manipulation phase that we're in right now, and then we have distribution. If we can actually reclaim 112,500, we're going to be actually entering a distribution phase, and this is where we can see Bitcoin move towards the upside. So in my opinion, if we can actually reclaim this 112,500, that's where we're actually bullish. And if we can't actually reclaim that 112,500, then the next level for me is from 102 to 100k. This pocket over here is a key level for me, and this is where I'm going to be looking to be buying up that dip. But you may be wondering, is this dip even likely to happen? Why are we going to be dipping some more even though we had dipped in August? And I'm going to be covering that right now. So we can actually see, looking at the historical data from post-halving years, that September tends to be quite negative. We can see in 2017 we had a negative return, and in 2021 we had a negative return as well. But the main thing to take away from this is the fact that we had two positive Augusts right before that negative September. So we can use this data to compare it to 2025, and in 2025 we had a negative August. So this actually indicates that September can be positive, since we've already had our pullback. And this is why I've actually drawn this fractal, and this is why it's the thumbnail, and the main point of the video. So if you look at this chart, you can see we've already had that move towards the downside in August in 2025, and we started to have a positive September already, and it's likely that we continue to have a positive September in towards October, because we can see in 2021, which is just chart over here, we had a massive positive August, and then in the 1st of September, that's where we started to roll over. And that was the same case with 2017, massive positive August, and in September, that's where we started to roll over. But in 2025, which is this year over here, we've already had that negative August. So it's likely in September, we can actually see some bullish price action, and we actually follow our previous years, 2023 and 2024, where we had negative August, and then in September ongoing in towards Q4, it was massively bullish. So if you're enjoying the video and you want to be trading yourself, make sure to check that first link down below for BitTuneX. BitTuneX is an exchange that's non-KYC. It's a global exchange that can allow you to trade from anywhere in the world. And this exchange has partnered up with the community, offering you guys a massive 20% on your deposit. So you can see that if you deposit $2,000 here, you're going to be getting $400 in free money to be trading with. So that's that first link down below for BitTuneX. If you're interested and you want to be trading for yourself, make sure to check that first link down below to be claiming this massive bonus that you guys will be getting if you're going to be using that first link. Obviously, this will help to support the channel, but of course, it's a massive bonus, and you have until the 19th of September to be claiming this. So I think it's a good opportunity to be buying up that dip and, to be buying some altcoins as well. Now for Ethereum, you can see that the Bollinger Bands are actually squeezing in, and we can see the Bollinger Band with percentile is actually moving towards the downside. Now the Bollinger Band with percentile difference, the BBWP, is just an oscillator that shows you if the bands are extremely wide or if they're tight, and you can see that they've contracted towards the downside, almost at that fully contracted region, and you can see that this indicates that the volatility is very low on Ethereum over here. So this is showing that the next move is coming. There's going to be a massive move towards the upside or the downside. It is direction neutral. So this is just indicating and showing us that the volatility on Ethereum is very low. So we need to be looking at the next few charts to be indicating what direction that's going to be. And we can see by this chart over here, we're trading in a falling wedge pattern already. So if Ethereum can actually break out this falling wedge pattern, it is likely we can actually move towards the upside. But if we can't actually break out from this falling wedge pattern and confirm it with some volume, then it indicates that Ethereum can actually continue towards the downside here. So the key levels to be watching is this level at 4,260 already that we're trading at. This is a massive key level that we spiked into many times, and it is likely that if we can't hold this level, the next level we're going to be going into is 4,100, which is proven to be massive support previously. And if we zoom out and we look at why the support level is actually massively influential and it's actually significant, we can see in 2024 this was massive resistance twice. So this is indicating that this level for me, since we've actually came and tested it already and it's proven to be a strong level, is going to be the key level, given that Ethereum actually can't hold the support that is at the minute. I think that 4,300 is going to be the next support level for Ethereum. So we can see that we're holding this level right now at 4,264 so far. But if we can't actually hold this and move towards the upside now, I think the next level is going to be 4,100 for Ethereum. Now for that longer term, it looks like Ethereum is likely to move towards the upside, since we repeated history already, and you can see that the MACD is flipped bullish. So I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of strength in Ethereum, and we're going to continue towards the upside there. We're forming a decent and broadening wedge as well, just like last cycle. So that's actually looking very, very good. And we also have Ethereum against Bitcoin looking ready to break this 8-year trend line, which is absolutely enormous in my opinion. So I'm not going to be fading Ethereum long term. I still think Ethereum is massively bullish. And you can see that there's a lot of people actually looking to stake their Ethereum and actually buy up the Ethereum supply. And we can see that large investors are looking to massively buy whilst retail dumps, indicating that the smart money know something about Ethereum. They know that Ethereum is likely to go a lot higher, since, we have the MACD flipping bullish on a monthly time frame. So this is indicating that there's a lot of capital flying into Ethereum at the minute. So that'll be it from me. Make sure to smash out that like button and make sure to be following me on X to be staying up to date with all my updates over here. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of the day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.